Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before starting the video, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button, and give this video a like up. When Conor McGregor claimed that WWE stars were pew asterisks, and that he would easily beat the life out of them, it created a tempest among WWE wrestlers and fans. Roman Reigns took it to another level when he opined that McGregor is of the size of his leg and should shut up. However, when you watch the UFC 203 fight between CM Punk and Mickey Gall, you can only but wonder whether Conor McGregor was actually right. I'd remember gluing myself in front of the television when WWE Raw/SmackDown was telecasted on TV. I was a child and absolutely loved it. Obviously, the fact that everything was scripted was unbeknownst to me at that point, making it all the more intriguing and exciting for me. As I grew up, many of my supposed realities turned to nothing but fantasies. The child's heart was broken. The man's heart was formed. However, I didn't quit watching the WWE until CM Punk decided that his journey with Vince McMahon's company was over. That was the breaking point for me. You see, even though it was all scripted, it did what it was intended to do: entertain us. And Punk, for me, was the best entertainer in the business. And as much as I hate saying this, right now, and I used right now very strongly, CM Punk is just that, an entertainer. And that is the case with almost every WWE star on the roster. They are entertainers and not fighters. They might have an outward appearance that oozes machoism, but inside the octagon, it is not big bodies or giant frame that matter. A lot of hype surrounded the former WWE star as he took on Mickey Gall inside the octagon. His fans were hoping that he, against the tide, would do the impossible and beat Gall. That would have done it, wouldn't it? It would have stamped WWE's superiority over UFC fighters. Perhaps it would have. But MMA is the reality that younger fans think WWE is. The only way Punk could have done the impossible was if the match was scripted for him to win. But Punk was destroyed inside the octagon. So much so that it was embarrassing and hurtful to watch. As an avid fan, it made me sad to see an idol fall like that. It looked like a professional fighter against a school kid. The saddest part, however, is that Gall didn't even seem to put in that much of an effort to finish Punk off. I mean, no discredit to Punk for what he did. He might have been desecrated in that ring, bullied like a weakling, but he deserves respect for his courage. Punk trained for 2 years to get here, but training and experience are two completely different sides of the coin. However, Punk lived a dream, and he deserves reverence for that alone. After the loss, he said some truly inspiring words. He is right. After all, even Brock Lesnar lost his first UFC fight via submission. So Punk can still come back stronger if he puts in the effort and hard work. But the truth is, WWE stars are way behind mixed martial artists when it comes to natural fighting. Sure, they might be over 190 meters tall and 300 plus pound in weight, but after today, it would be hard to imagine a WWE star take on an MMA fighter and get the better of him. Perhaps McGregor was right. Perhaps he would indeed, in his own words, slap the head out of the entire roster. CM Punk's journey from the squared circle of WWE to the unforgiving cage of the UFC has been a controversial and polarizing one, not just for the combat sports community, but also for fans of professional wrestling. As a self-made superstar in WWE, CM Punk built a career founded on his brash attitude, sharp wit, and in-ring abilities. However, his venture into mixed martial arts, MMA, with the UFC in 2016, turned out to be a stark reminder of the harsh reality that not all athletic prowess translates seamlessly across sports. While many WWE fans saw his transition as a natural evolution of a man of many talents, the MMA world provided a tough reality check. It's easy to be a king in one realm, but it takes an entirely different level of skill, experience, and dedication to compete at the highest level in MMA. CM Punk's legacy in WWE is one of resilience, self-promotion, and unyielding determination. Punk came into WWE in 2005, and for a while, he was seen as an outsider. the antithesis of the WWE cookie-cutter superstar. He was loud, rebellious, and unapologetically himself. The infamous pipe bomb promo in 2011, where he aired his grievances against the WWE system, became one of the most memorable moments in WWE history. It was Punk's bold declaration of independence and dissatisfaction that endeared him to fans and solidified his place as one of the most significant figures in the modern era of WWE. Punk's wrestling ability was undeniable. His technical skill, storytelling, and charisma made him a fan favorite, and his feud with John Cena culminated in a series of classic matches that are still remembered today. But it wasn't just his performances inside the ring that set him apart. Punk was a breath of fresh air in a world that was increasingly dominated by larger-than-life personalities. His straight-edge persona, an anti-drug, alcohol, and promiscuity stance, paired with his gritty, often confrontational promos, allowed him to carve a unique identity that transcended the wrestling world. Despite his success, Punk's time in WWE was marked by discontent. Tired of the company's politics and poor treatment, Punk walked away from the business in 2014, leaving behind a WWE Championship reign that had lasted over 400 days and a string of passionate fans who felt his departure as a personal loss. This set the stage for his next great career move, mixed martial arts. When CM Punk made the decision to leave professional wrestling behind and step into the octagon, it raised eyebrows across both the WWE and MMA worlds. Punk had no prior experience in combat sports aside from his background in professional wrestling. The question that lingered on the minds of many was, could a professional wrestler truly succeed in MMA, or was it all just an illusion of toughness? Punk's UFC debut came in 2016, where he faced Mickey Gall, a relatively unknown fighter who was already an experienced professional in the sport. It was a mismatch from the start. Punk had spent only a few years training in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, striking, and wrestling, while Gall had been immersed in the intricacies of mixed martial arts for much longer. The bout was a quick one, with Punk losing via submission in just over 2 minutes. The loss was devastating, but it wasn't entirely surprising. Punk's UFC journey was seen by many as a publicity stunt, a chance for the UFC to cash in on the crossover appeal of a WWE star. Punk's experience in the octagon was far less than his opponent's, and that gap in skill was on full display. Punk would go on to fight again in 2018 against Mike Jackson, another fighter with limited experience, but the result was almost identical: a decision loss after 3 brutal rounds. Despite showing moments of determination, Punk lacked the refined techniques and instincts of seasoned fighters, which led to a humbling realization: WWE and MMA are vastly different worlds. For many WWE enthusiasts, Punk's MMA career was a wake-up call. It highlighted the reality that MMA is a whole different animal compared to professional wrestling. In WWE, athletes perform choreographed matches, where storytelling and character development often outweigh raw athletic competition. The athleticism in WWE is undeniable, but the purpose of a wrestling match is often to entertain the audience and create emotional investment. The techniques, while physically demanding, are executed in a controlled, predetermined manner to protect the performers. In contrast, MMA is a sport where the outcome is anything but scripted. Fighters are not working together to tell a story, they are competing for dominance in one of the most dangerous and unpredictable environments. The skills required for MMA, striking, grappling, submissions, cardio, and mental toughness, are all developed over years of hard work and consistent training. It is a brutal sport that demands every ounce of a competitor's mind and body. For WWE fans who had followed CM Punk's journey and believed in his toughness, seeing him struggle in the cage served as a harsh reminder of the gap between the two sports. Punk was no longer the man who could talk his way out of a tough situation or use his charisma to overpower his opponents. In the UFC, the stakes were higher. His opponent's goal was to defeat him, not to protect him, and there was no script to fall back on. While Punk's MMA career in the UFC was unsuccessful in terms of wins, it is essential to acknowledge the courage it took for him to step into the cage in the first place. The MMA community is often harsh on newcomers, especially those from the world of professional wrestling, who are perceived as having an advantage based on fame rather than skill. Punk could have easily continued his career in WWE, where he had already established a legacy and enjoyed considerable fame. Instead, he chose to take on a much harder challenge. The fact that Punk persevered in MMA for as long as he did is a testament to his mental toughness. While his fights may not have gone the way he hoped, they showed a man who was willing to take risks, put himself in uncomfortable situations, and face the reality of his limits. In a sport that is often unforgiving, Punk's willingness to take those lumps shows a different type of bravery. Ultimately, CM Punk's MMA journey should be viewed as a lesson in humility, dedication, and the importance of respect for different sports. For fans of professional wrestling, it's crucial to understand that WWE is a scripted form of entertainment, not a legitimate combat sport. While it takes skill, athleticism, and dedication to excel in WWE, it is not the same as stepping into a real fight. Punk deserves respect for his contributions to WWE and for attempting to transition to MMA. He may not have been successful in the UFC, but his efforts highlighted the gap between the two disciplines. It's a reality check for WWE fans who may have once believed that any professional wrestler could make the leap to MMA and succeed. Punk's MMA career showed that even the most talented and toughest of wrestlers can struggle in the cage, and it serves as a reminder of the immense difficulty of excelling in mixed martial arts.